All right, so this video is meant to help with the setup of the 88 key keyboard controller, the MacBook, and the Korg nanokontrol, which will be controlling all of our sounds from the laptop, because we're not going to be using the keyboard for any of our sounds. We'll be using just the laptop. So we'll start by powering up everything. The keyboard, make sure it's plugged in to some power, and the laptop, make sure it's plugged into power. The nanokontrol will be powered by the USB cable, which will plug in here into the laptop and then into the side of the nanokontrol. The keyboard, we will use the M-Audio Uno, which has this blue thing, can't miss it. The reason why is because many of our keyboards don't have USB, so this one has two MIDI cables on the ends that will plug into the keyboard, and then a USB will plug into the laptop. So we'll do that and just make sure they have labels to MIDI out. Probably can't see that on the video, but to MIDI out and to MIDI in, and your keyboard will also have those labels. Make sure those match up. So let me get those plugged in. All right, and lastly, we've got our audio cable, which has just a standard headphone jack on one end and two instrument cable ends for the other side. This will normally go to a direct box. We send stereo keys to the soundboard. This will plug into your headphone output, which is the first jack here on the side of the laptop. For this demonstration, I'm just going to plug this into the keyboard since I don't really have an amp nearby. All right, so everything's all plugged in. We're going to go into our software, which just scroll your mouse to the bottom of the screen and all the apps will pop up. Mainstage 3 is our software for the keyboard that we're going to be using. Now, it will automatically open some sort of concert on screen. Depending on who used it last, it may or may not be the correct one. Just make sure up here at the top, the label says 88 key with nanokontrol. If that's not what it says, we'll have to go into File and Open Recent, and then you'll see the 88 key with nanokontrol set. Right now, everything is set up for this keyboard and the nanokontrol. And so what we want to do is kind of explain how everything works. First of all, you have volume from the laptop. That is your only volume that's going to send anything to the soundboard. So make sure that your volume is somewhere between 50 and 100%, depending on what the sound guy wants. So right now, we're getting signal. You can see on the screen that the keyboard is sending signal, and we're actually getting different channels already. So what you want to do is make sure the nanokontrol has full control over all the things that are going on here. So what I always do is I'll go all the way up and down a couple times until I see on screen that my control is actually being manipulated by the hardware here. So my first time up and down, nothing happens. Second time, there it is. And so it'll just take a sec to go through all of those and make sure everything is working properly. And this one on the far left, that's your master volume. So channel 1 on the nanokontrol is your master volume, and you can see what your parameter is here. You want to keep it about 100. That'll keep it from distorting and from being too quiet. So just go ahead and leave channel 1 there. And right now, we have no signal passing through the computer because all of our 8 sound channels are completely turned off. So if I wanted to turn all of them up, I could just turn all of them up and you will hear chaos. Alright, so what we really want is to hear one at a time. We've got piano in channel 1. So that's your piano. Channel 2 is pad, which has lots of trail. So that's really great for your atmospheres. We've got strings in fader 4. I might add a little bit of atmosphere to that. It's a little bright, or you can layer that. Gives a lot more atmosphere. Channel 5 is electric piano. Channel 6, like a rock organ. Fills a lot of space. Channel 7, that is the lead right now. We use that for Love Goes On by Hillsong Young and Free. That's channel 7. Channel 8. That's a lead synth for songs like Wake or This Is Amazing Grace. And then channel 9 is actually a rhythm-based arpeggiated synth. All right, so those are the sounds that are currently programmed in. Those can change from week to week depending on what songs we're using, but I'll make sure that all of that is labeled so you know what to expect. The buttons, we're going to be utilizing a little bit of everything. So if I've got several layers, so I'm playing some piano, pads, and strings, and then suddenly I need to jump to just pads. Well, there's a couple ways I could do that. I could fade out my faders on channel 2 and 4, which are my piano and strings. That would work. If I need it to happen immediately and there's more sounds going on, I can do a few different things. Number 1, I could solo, which there's 2 buttons on each channel, and they correspond with the buttons on the screen. The top one of every channel, except for one, which is our master, is a mute. And so if you press the mute, if I've got, I'll take my piano out, and then I unmute it, and there it's back. If I want to solo just the pads, I just hit the pad solo button, which is the bottom one, and then I've got just that single channel. I press it again, and it deactivates the solo feature. Okay? The master volume, the master channel buttons, right now only the bottom button is programmed, and that will be a tap tempo, which you can see says tap tempo underneath the button corresponding for the main, and that really only works with anything that's rhythm based, like the arpeggiator. The arpeggiator will be affected by your speed. So if I want a faster song, say we're doing This Is Amazing Grace, and that's about This is Amazing Grace. I just tap that tempo in. This is unfailing love. Then you would take my place. Then you would bear my cross. Something like that. All right, and if we have delays or something like that that you need to be locked into the tempo, I don't remember if I've got, yeah, I don't actually have any programmed in quite yet. So once I get those programmed in, the tap tempo under channel 1 will sync all of that with the tempo of the song. So you can layer as many sounds as you want. Whatever you need for the songs. So the other thing that we'll do is sometimes we'll split, just a standard keyboard split. Maybe you only need the lead synth for the right hand for lead lines, and maybe you need the arpeggiator for, well, I'll actually split that within one single patch so that the upper has your lead line, the lower has your arpeggiator. So still working on a few things, but wanted to make sure you know how to work everything with the 88 key controller, the MacBook, and the Korg nanokontrol. And if you have any questions, you can just let me know.